First step, we're going to take some yarn and then make a slip knot. Just like that. Then getting our hook, and we're going to do a chain. My chain is going to be nine chains, or about 4 centimeters long. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is going to be the center of our cups. Now we're going to single crochet back along our chain. So you're going to insert your hook back into the first chain. Then you're going to pull up a loop. You're going to yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Like so. Just like that. And then same thing again. This is a single crochet, so you're just going to be doing this all along your chain. Like this, and you're going to do this all the way until the end. Once you've single crocheted into every single chain, you're going to do 2 more single crochets into this chain here. So in total you should have 3 chains in this one stitch here. And then we're going to crochet along the other side of our chain. Again, it's single crochets, so it's just the same thing as before. You're going to insert your hook into the next stitch on the other side, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and you're going to do that all the way across to the end of this side of your chain. Just like that. Now you're going to chain 1 and then turn your work around like so. And now you're going to single crochet back into every single stitch. So just like that. And when you reach the center stitch at the top here, you're going to do 3 single crochets in one stitch, sorry. Here I've inserted my hook into the center stitch up here, and I'm going to do 3 single crochets as I said. So after each single crochet, you're going to insert your hook back into the same stitch and then single crochet again, and repeat that until you have 3 single crochets from one stitch. And then you can just move on to the next stitch. So yeah, this is basically the pattern that you're going to repeat for the rest of your cup until it becomes big enough to cover what needs to be covered. My cup was about 9 chains by 17 rows wide, so, but obviously, as I said before, you can customize that to your own measurements. Eventually you guys should end up with cups looking like this. And to finish the cup off, I like to just chain 1 and then pull my yarn through, and then just gotta tighten that knot there. Beautiful, and that's your cup completed. You will need 2 of these. So now we're going to start making the button up bit. So with your hook, you're going to do a chain about 5 or 6. Okay, I'm actually going to do 7, and you're going to single crochet into each stitch. Then you're going to skip the next stitch and insert your hook into the stitch after, and pull up a loop and then pull that loop through. Now you're going to turn your work around. Now same thing, you're going to single crochet into each stitch again. Like so, and then you're going to chain one and turn your work back and pretty much repeat the same thing until the button up bit is about a third the height of your cup. Here I think I'm pretty happy with the height of my button up bit, so I'm just gonna go ahead and cut my yarn, it's already cut, and then pull the tail of that through, and that would just create a knot. And yeah, you're going to now do this exact same thing on your other cup. So here I've got my two cups and I've done the button up bit for both of them, and I just like overlap them to put bobby pins on each of the piece, like how much they would overlap by, if that makes sense. And now we're going to make the ribbing. So here's the ribbing that I already made, so it's gonna be attached to like the bottom edge of that. So yeah, I'm gonna show you guys how to make it now. Here I've got some white yarn again. I'm going to do a slip knot like that, and then we're going to do a chain. So this chain is going to determine the width of your ribbings. So here is my chain. I've kind of like lost count on how many I wanted, but basically that is going to be this width of our ribbing. So now once you're happy with that, you're just going to chain one more and then insert your hook back into the stitch here, pull up a loop, and then you're going to yarn over and pull through both loops. That is a single crochet, as you should know now from this tutorial. I've been using heaps of single crochets, so you're going to do the single crochets all along the chain until you reach the other end, and then you're pretty much just going to keep on doing single crochets back and forth across your chain. But if you don't know how to go into the next row, don't worry, I'll show you guys that next. So I've just done single crochets into every single chain. You're going to chain one, turn your work around, and now you're going to single crochet into each of the stitches, but only in the back loop. So I'm going to insert my hook in there. As you can sort of like see from up there that I'm not inserting into both loops, just the one. And then you're just going to single crochet into the back loop for the remaining of your ribbing, and you're going to repeat this process until your ribbing is long enough for half of your underbust. So here is my ribbing, and I'm just going to finish it off. I always just like cut my yarn and then pull the tail of that through. So because that's like a little ball here, it's just, this is just like some of my scrap yarn I have. I'm just going to loosen this knot and then pull the whole ball through the loop. And then you're just going to tighten that knot. And voila, there you have it. That is your ribbing completed. And next we're going to attach the ribbing to our cup pieces. So with this, you want to figure out which center bit goes at the back and which one's on the front. So mine's going to look like this. So you're going to take your back piece and connect that first. So to do that, you're going to fold your ribbing in half, like so. For these two pieces here, you're going to place them right sides facing together, and then line up the edge of the cup with the edge of your ribbing. And because I'm right-handed, I'm going to also just flip this over because I crochet from right to left. Now grab your hook and some yarn. I've already made a slip knot with mine, so you would need to do the same. And I'm going to insert my hook into the first stitch on both sides, on both pieces. Then I'm going to place a slip knot on my hook and pull that through. There we go. And I'm just going to chain one. Now I'm just going to insert my hook into the next stitch on both pieces, and I like to tuck the tail of this behind just like that. I'm going to pull up a loop and then pull the loop through and then chain one. And then same thing in the next stitch. This is pretty much how I connect all of my pieces together, like the seams and stuff. So you're going to repeat this step until you have reached the other end of your cup. And on the front, it looks like this. Lovely. I've now connected my whole first cup onto my ribbing, so this is what it looks like from the front. And now we're going to attach our other piece. So back from here, you're going to grab your other piece. Make sure you know which one's the right side, the front. Mine's going to be attached like this. So I'm just gonna flip that down like so, and then just like that. From now I'm going to insert my hook back into where we left off and repeat the same steps as before, except now you're connecting the ribbing to the other cup piece. So one thing worth mentioning is that I sort of like lined up this edge against my bobby pin, which marked out how wide I want the overlap to be. So yeah, and I'm going to connect the rest of this off camera. So I've just completed connecting my second cup, so now on the side here I'm going to tie this off the same way I always do, which is just chaining one and then cutting my yarn and pulling the tail of it through. So I'm using another bit of my scrap yarn from this other project that I never finished, so it's already cut like that, and then I'm just going to tighten that knot there. And this is how our top looks so far. You can remove the bobby pins now. They're not really needed anymore. So this is what it looks like, and next I'm going to show you guys how to crochet the bottom half. So here I've got the wrong side of my top facing up towards you guys, and we're going to do a really long chain from one end of your ribbing to the other. This chain's going to wrap around your back and back to the front, so make sure yours is going to be long enough for that. If you've also got big shoulders like me, you want to make sure that this chain wrapped around can also fit past your shoulder, otherwise you won't be able to get it on or off. So here I've got the front side of my top facing up towards the camera, and here's my chain. It is pretty much like the length I want it to be, but I'm just gonna do 2 more chains, just better safe than sorry. If it's a little bit loose, it's okay, but if it doesn't fit, then I'm not gonna be able to wear this. Anyways, so now I am going to connect my chain onto the other side of my top. I'm just going to sort of like make sure that my chain isn't twisted or anything. It's just like this, and we're going to connect it into this end here. So going to insert my hook into that corner there, then yarn over and pull through 2 loops like so. And now you're going to flip your work so that the right side is facing up, and I'm just going to first off do a chain to close that off, and I'm going to do another chain to make up for the height of the double crochets we're going to be doing. And now we're going to double crochet into every single stitch. So in case you don't know what a double crochet is, it's a yarn over, insert your hook into a loop, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. And for this top we are going to do about 2 to 3 double crochets per stitch. So I'm going to go back into this stitch here and do another double crochet. To start off, I think I'm going to do 2 double crochets per stitch, and if that's not enough, we could increase to doing 2 double crochets for in the first stitch and then 3 in the second. So you're going to repeat this pattern all the way around your top. And when you crochet all the way back, you're going to do this along the chain at the back as well, and I'm going to show you guys how you would go into the next row a bit later on when I finish my row. Hey guys, so this is the front of my top, and I just wanted to say that for this bit down here, when you reach your chain, you're going to do 2 double crochets per chain as well, all the way around until you get to where we started. Hi guys, again, sorry about the dodgy setup. It's just because I'm sick at the moment and I've been in bed all day, so I don't really want to move to my actual setup, but I also want to keep on filming this, and that's why I'm like filming in bed right now. Anyway, so now you're just going to double crochet into the first chain here, and then start double crocheting on top of your previous rows of double crochets. You could probably see I've already done the first double crochet like just in that gap there, and then next one I'm just going to go into that stitch up there, because we've crocheted into the next row like this. We'll now be crocheting in a spiral, and we can just keep on doing double crochets into every single stitch without worrying about having to move on to the new row. So this is what my top looks like, and at the back I decided to go with this double crochet chain double crochet stitch instead of the double crochets before, because this is going to make the top a bit cooler for me to wear during summer. And to do that, I just at about halfway, so sort of like down this edge, I stopped doing double crochets in every single stitch. I did double crochet and then a chain, and then I skipped a stitch and then double crocheted into the next stitch again, and then you just repeat that step all over. And this is also the same stitch that I did in my crochet bolero tutorial, so if you know how to do that stitch, it's the same thing, but I'm only doing this for the back half of my top. So for the front it still looks like this, and then this is the back. Now we're back at the place where I'm going to start doing double crochets. So to do that, I'm just going to insert my hook into this stitch here. And by the way, this stitch is about exactly where I sort of like halfway of my top where I want to start doing my other stitch. And then I'm just going to double crochet into every single stitch from now on. just like that. And yeah, and that's how I switch back to the double crochet stitch at the front. And obviously I'm going to do all of this, which is the front of my top, and then all the way across, and then when I reach the back half again, I'm going to start doing double crochet, chain, and double crochet again. You're going to repeat this pattern for this bit of your top until you reach your desired length. So once you're happy with the length of this, I'm going to finish my top off. So as you can see, I am in my double crochet, chain, double crochet part. So now I'm going to start decreasing the height of my stitch so that it blends into one row. And the next stitch I'm going to do is going to be a half double crochet, because that stitch is shorter than a double crochet. So you yarn over and you pull through all 3 loops in a half double crochet. And I'm going to chain 1 as usual, and then do another half double crochet. Like so, and as you can see, we've shortened the height of our stitch. And now I'm going to do 2 single crochets. I have to chain 1 first, of course, and then single crochet. This is how you do a single crochet. And then chain 1, and then another one. So now I'm going to show you guys how I will do my straps. Basically, I'm just going to do a long chain for my strap, like literally all my other videos. So I'm going to insert my hook into the stitch that's at the top here. I'm going to place my slip knot onto my hook. I'm going to tighten that a little bit first, actually. So there we go. And I'm going to place that on my hook and then pull it through. Then I'm just going to start doing a chain from there. And this is how it looks so far. I'm going to do the rest off camera. So I've got the back side of my top facing towards the camera right now, and this is my strap. I like the length of it, so I'm going to go ahead and finish it off. So to do that, I just do one more chain, cut my yarn like so, and then tighten the knot. And my strap was about 120 centimeters long. And I'm just going to go ahead and do my other strap off camera because you guys already know how to do it. And the first thing I'm going to do here is actually stitch the these two pieces together, because the buttons are going to be fake. So yeah, I'm just going to show you guys how I'm going to stitch these 2 pieces together, and then I'm going to stitch on 2 buttons like that. It would be ideal if you had 3, but I could only find 2. So of course I'm going to start off with a slip knot, and then I'm going to insert my hook. And then just do a chain, and then I'm just going to go into the next stitch on both pieces, and then pull up a loop and pull 1 loop through, and then next stitch, and then you'll just repeat this all the way around your button-up bits. So I'm just going to connect all the way across to the edge here, and then go down, and then go crochet across here as well. So here's my button-up bit in the center, and I've finished stitching that up. So I'm just going to cut my yarn and then pull the tail of it through. I usually just sort of tie it onto one of the surrounding bits that I can reach into, for example just here, and then I would just pull my yarn through like that and then make a knot, probably like this, and that just helps secure that part down, and then you can trim it now. So then I am going to sew on the buttons. So this is what it's going to look like, and so here I've just gotten myself a small needle and some white thread, and I've just threaded it through, and I've just threaded that one through, and then now I'm just going to make a knot at the end. Like that, and then I'm gonna grab one of my buttons. I've got my button, and then I'm just going to place it where I want it to be, sort of there, and holding it into place. Going from behind, I'm just going to insert my needle through one of the holes on my button, like so, and then you're going to insert your needle through the hole through the other hole, and then I'm just going to insert that through my top and tighten that, and just repeat that again. So inserting that into the hole, pulling that tight, and then inserting it into the other hole, and then pushing the needle through and then tightening that. I'm just going to repeat this a few times until I think that it is strong enough to hold the button in place. I think that's pretty good, and then we're going to tie a knot. Back here I am going to just, this is really bad sewing, but I'm just going to insert my hook under one of the stitches and then pull that one up but not fully through, and I am going to just, I don't know if you guys can see that, there we go, and then I'm going to insert my, yep, and then I'm going to insert my needle back into that loop there, and because my needle's too long, so I can't pull it through, so I'm just going to cut my thread here and then take out the needle and then pull the two threads tight to make a knot, and then go ahead and tie a few more knots to just secure that. So that's the first button on, and you're going to do the exact same thing for the second button. Hey guys, so this is how my top turned out. It doesn't look exactly like the brandy one, but I think it's still super cute with the design, like the buttons in the center here. Mine's not super straight, but it's okay, you can barely notice it. And I just paired my top with some low-rise jeans, and I'll be wearing this heaps in the summer hopefully. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.